And good luck from Beth. Connor leads them out. So Connor Hall starts this one on pole position, joined on the front row by Philip Rawson. Guan Yu Zhou is on row 2 with David Wooder. Janie Jar and Juan Manuel Correa are row 3. Max Timmermans and Jack McCarthy row 4, and the top 10 completed by Philip Hamprecht and Max Hofer on row 5. Newcomer Sandy Mitchell is on row 6 with Leonard Hugenboom. Josh Price is on row 7 with Richard Verschoor. Row 8 sees Finlay Hutchinson, another new person in this series, another of the Scots. 4 Scots racing with us today, a record. And Dennis Tice, the Dutchman, shares row 8 with Finlay Hutchinson, the Scot. Thomas Preining on his 15th birthday. Happy birthday, Thomas. A great race here would be a great birthday present to yourself. He's on row 9 with the impressive Danish driver Matthias Christensen. And the top 20 completed by yesterday's birthday boy, Lorenzo van Riet. He's from Holland, alongside United States driver Darren Keane. Gianfranco Mazzaferro and Thomas Issa, row 11. We call Thomas Issa's name and say hi to all our friends down there in the Caribbean. If Mr. Peter Moody is listening in, Peter, from your good mate Ken Walker here in England, hope things going well for you. Row 12, Denise Beckers and Yuri Vips. Row 13, Rokas Bachuska and Christopher Dryspring. Row 14, Jack Bartholomew and Denise DeRoy. Row 15, Lars Lamberell winning the second chance race, lining up with Nicholas Oscarson. Eric Stahl and Jack Martin, row 16. The grid completed by Savannah Megan Courtney and Hannes Tampere. A 9-lap race for the juniors for the pre-final. Well, the time-honoured ritual, if you like, of trying to get heat into the tyres. I'm told variously that it's essential that you do it and that there's minimal advantage to be had. But it becomes almost the done thing, doesn't it? Nice approach this, nice and steady. Well done to Connor Hall and Philip Rawson, bringing them in steadily. And we're racing, and Connor Hall from pole. No, we're not racing. It's been aborted. The start has been aborted. Not for the first time this weekend. The start has been aborted. Well, there's 2 principal reasons why a start would be aborted. One is that the approach speed is too quick. The second is that the formation has been fractured. But it can be for other reasons. Sometimes the starter will see that a driver has been detached at the back and is charging round, wanting to make his starting place on the grid, and in his discretion can send the drivers round again. I rather think that that was one of the standard reasons, either the approach too quick or the formation unsatisfactory. Either way, we try again. This is the latter back straight. If you look to the top of your screen, you could run a configuration here of an oval, and that would be the long continuous back straight, but that never has been the practice in kart racing here at PF. This is the second half of the back straight, if you will. Sweeping round to the most northerly part of the circuit. So, Connor Hall on pole position and Philip Rawson joining him on the front row, and we try again. And we're racing this time, and Connor Hall getting himself a... No, we're not racing. Well, I thought the body language of Thomas Liner was that he was satisfied. That looked like a very firm push down by the thumb, and the very firm push down by the thumb it was, but it was to the amber flashing light, not to the green. And the reason I can tell you, too early acceleration. Well, there is a yellow line across the circuit at about the 10th row mark, and if you accelerate to race pace before that, that is deemed 1, gaining an advantage that you're not entitled to, but more importantly, it's deemed dangerous, and in the interests of safety, the race start will be aborted. Now, we're in the situation where the poleman, who has that big advantage of being on pole, has suddenly got his big responsibilities weighing heavily on his shoulders, and Connor Hall particularly on pole, Philip Rawson to a lesser extent in the off-pole position, may have to answer to the officials. Nigel Edwards making his way down towards the approach. I don't know if he's going to have a word with the guys or if we try for a third time. Well, he's not calling them in. He's merely indicating who he wants where. Are we third time lucky? Yes, we are, and Connor Hall immediately under pressure from the guy behind him, which is Guan Yu Zhou, but he resists that clash. Philip Rawson getting himself into third place, maybe just rattled back to fourth as we approach the Lichfield Bridge. Oh, and some contact there that's not done favours to one or two of the front runners, but it does look as if Connor Hall has survived in cart number 22 in the lead, with Guan Yu Zhou in second place. Philip Wooder going also well, but the third place driver is cart number 95, which is, that's Philip Rawson in third place, 95. David Wooder is cart number 34. So they're the 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody through. We've not lost anybody at the opening. Well, we have actually. We've effectively lost the driver, cart number 39. 39 is Philip Hamprecht, who started on a decent position in the top 10, but is way detached, and I don't think we've seen Juan Manuel Correa, the driver from the United States of America, come past us. And indeed, there's been another little incident at the exit from turn 10, which has taken two drivers out. Have to stay with the main drivers, but Connor Hall coming under pressure from Guan Yu Zhou. Philip Rawson getting himself in a real battle there with David Wooder. Those two blue-suited drivers having a really good dice. Look for the blue helmet of cart number 34, David Wooder, and Philip Rawson, a little bit more readily identifiable in cart 95 because of the brighter helmet, the sort of light amber orange. The guys who we lost at the back was Roka Bachuska, I think, and Darren Keane also well down there. Philip Hamprecht eventually going through out of the top 30. Well, Connor Hall's advantage, only a narrow one, as I'm trying to look out of the window and at the screen. Let's stay with those front runners because Connor Hall is coming up to complete another lap. This is the start of lap 3. Guan Yu Zhou very close to him. Guan Yu Zhou bidding to take the lead. They're briefly out of my sight, but Guan Yu Zhou, the driver from Shanghai, based in the United Kingdom, racing on a British licence, has taken the lead at the start of lap 3. And Dave Wooder is now in second place with him. And Dave Wooder takes the lead off Guan Yu Zhou. So with Guan having opened them all up, he's suddenly fourth, and Dave Wooder leaves from Philip Rawson. And in third place now, pole sitter Connor Hall. It all changes very quickly, and these front-running three have got themselves well clear. Well, say well clear, that's a relative term, but a good 8 lengths clear of the chasing pack. I think Jay Nijar I see in that chasing pack, Guan Yu Zhou as well, and all of a sudden Guan, having done a really good piece of passing, got it wrong, got off the racing line. That's all it takes, and you just can't get back on it. This is the start of lap 4. Dave Wooder continues to lead. Philip Rawson piling on the pressure. Philip Rawson, as I say, in the brighter coloured helmet. That's how we split them in the commentary box. Connor Hall, the pole sit. Oh, and there's definitely a little bit of a nudge there from one of the drivers. I won't say his name, but I will say that's not the first time I've seen him do that today, over the weekend. David Wooder continues to lead. Second place, Philip Rawson. Third place, Connor Hall. Little bit of a gap to fourth place driver Guan Yu Zhou has broken clear of the rest. Hey, the birthday boy on his birthday, 15 years old today, Tommy Pryning from way down on the starting grid, Let me see, he was in 17th place from 17th to 5th for Thomas Pryning. Having said that, Josh Price has just gone past him into 5th, Tommy Pryning dropping to 6th, but it's still a good drive from 17th place on the starting grid. This is lap 5 of a 9-lap race. It's the junior pre-final. Connor Hall having gone past Philip Rawson. He's in 2nd place, and Connor, the poleman, beginning to have a look at the lead of David Wooder. Gets himself beautifully. Oh, and Philip Rawson again getting, well, shut up, Ken Walker. It's not your call. David Wooder leads. Philip Rawson in close attendance in 2nd place. Connor Hall 3rd. And they're the front-running 3, joined by Guan Yu Zhou 4th and Josh Price 5th. Maybe sometimes from the elevated view in the commentary box, we see a little bit more than officials see at ground level. Kart number 20, and Guan Yu Zhou goes into 2nd place. Guan Yu Zhou almost where you would not expect a passing move to be attempted between turns 1 and 2. Gets himself into 2nd place, that at the expense of Philip Rawson. Well, Connor Hall has got a tiny little bit of breathing space. We're into the right-hander, the right-hand hairpin followed by the left-hand hairpin. That is the long serpentine here at PF International. Coming out through the long chicane on this very symmetrical part of the circuit. Josh Price looking very handily placed 4th. David Wooder has dropped down to 5th. I think I saw Jay Nijar going through in my picture. Trying to bring you the best race call, looking both with the naked eye and at the television screens on RGMMC TV. Coming round to complete lap 6. So we're at the 2/3 race distance. Connor Hall has the lead from Guan Yu Zhou. Philip Rawson 3rd. Josh Price 4th. David Wooder 5th. Thomas Pryning 6th. Jay Nijar 7th. The newcomer, Sandy Mitchell from Scotland, a good drive by him into 8th place. Max Timmermans, the Belgian, 9th, and Matthias Christensen of Denmark in the top 10 at number 10, but Matthias was perhaps a little bit more impressive than this in his heat. Halfway round lap 7, and Dave Wooder has gone past Josh Price from 5th to 4th. In fact, David Wooder immediately applying the pressure now on Philip Rawson in 3rd place. All of this, not too much concern of our race leader, Connor Hall. He's not got a comfortable lead, but he's got a lead. And Guan Yu Zhou not in a position to make a challenge. It isn't Guan Yu Zhou, it's kart number 95, Philip Rawson, back in 2nd place. So I missed Philip Rawson going past Guan Yu Zhou, and Philip Rawson going for a really extravagant sweep. Has it worked? Yes, it has. Excellent piece of passing by Philip Rawson. Philip Rawson, when he went up the hill from under the Litchfield Bridge, took a big, wide outside sweep. Was it going to work for him? Yes, it was, and it did. So, Philip Rawson now coming under pressure from Guan Yu Zhou. Guan Yu Zhou trying to fight back, looking a little bit untidy. It's a heck of a dice for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. There's a bit of wheel banging. David Wooder is still 3rd. Josh Price I see in there, I think is 5th. 4th place driver, not so certain who that was. So let me try and identify them when they come round. We're late in the race because this is the start of lap 9 coming up. There's driving standards flags being shown. Can't say I'm over surprised at that. That's Roka Bachuska who's running last. Guan Yu Zhou looking to try to put the big sweep on the race leader, and it's worked. Well, has it worked? Let me see. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Didn't think it could have done, simply because Philip Rawling knew exactly what he was doing. Sorry, Philip Rawson. Kart number 95 is Philip Rawson. Oh, and off the track for a little while, kart number 17, Jay Nijar. He's fortunate. He doesn't lose too many places. And, well, I have said in commentary before, I always feel a little bit uncomfortable with all of this looking over your shoulder. I do understand why they do it. They're crossing on a scissors movement. Jay Nijar having gone up to 3rd, but it's the front two. Sorry, Josh Price, it's the front two I'm looking at. Coming back round into view. Philip Rawson was holding the advantage when I last saw them. It's Philip Rawson who's going to win this one. Philip Rawson wins it. Josh Price in second place. Guan Yu Zhou third. David Wooder fourth. Sandy Mitchell fifth. Matthias Christensen up to sixth. Thomas Preining seventh. Jay Nijar eighth. Max Timmermans ninth. And Jack McCarthy completes the top 10. Good race. And just to throw in one or two other little extras, Lars Lamberel came here this morning having to negotiate the last chance race. He negotiated it. He started at the back of this grid and has driven himself up to 18th place, which may not sound a lot, but that gives him a 9th row start in the final and the chance to make even more forward progress. So once again, Philip Rawson, your race winner. Josh Price second. Guan Yu Zhou in third place. Here in the United Kingdom, they're all Brits, or in the case of Guan Yu Zhou, an adopted Brit. So let's have a look and see what our chart shows us on RGMMC TV. It confirms that Philip Rawson's race win over Josh Price was by the minimal margin of 0.07 of a second. Guan Yu Zhou was half a second behind in third place. David Wooder fourth. And Sandy Mitchell, on his RGMMC racing debut, completed the top 5. They were all Brits. Matthias Christensen from Denmark was 6th. Thomas Preining from Austria was 7th on his 15th birthday. Jay Nijar, who survived putting a couple of wheels off the tarmac and onto the grass, eventually sorted himself, and top 10 finish was his in 8th place. Max Timmermans, the Belgian, 9th, and Jack McCarthy completing the top 10. Outside of the top 10, Connor Hall's going to feel bitterly disappointed to come home in 15th place. Another newcomer making a good showing for himself is Strawberry Racing's Finlay Hutchinson. He came home in 12th place. Confirmation of what I told you, that Lars Lamberel via the last chance race came home 18th. Jamaican Thomas Issa was in the top 20, just at 20th place. Savannah Megan Courtney, who also had to negotiate the last chance race this morning, just making the top 30 in 30th place. Well, those guys turned on a good race, and you know what? They do it all again this afternoon, except that they do it this afternoon over the longer race distance. The junior final scheduled away at 2 o'clock, 1400 hours. The championship, what does it do for the championship? Well, it leaves Connor Hall well in the lead, as it would, because he had that enormous lead, but it cuts down that lead, doesn't it? It's now just 21 points. Connor Hall's lead was a lot bigger. It's now 21 points. Connor Hall leads the championship with 190 points. Guan Yu Zhou 169 in second place. Josh Price third place with 163. Max Timmermans fourth with 158. Matthias Christensen fifth with 156. It gets tight, doesn't it? Thomas Preining sixth with 154. Dennis Beckers, the Dutchman, who I never mentioned in commentary, 152 in seventh place. Jack Bartholomew and Jay Nijar are joint eighth with 144 points, and Dennis Thijs of the Netherlands completes the top 10 with 141 points. So Connor Hall's lead is diminished, reduced, whatever you wish to say. And furthermore, Connor Hall is going to have to start the final on the 8th row. So from pole position in the pre-final to an 8th row start in the final. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that. Going to move to the seniors now. And our senior grid comes up on the screen on RGMMC TV. This will be a 13-lap pre-final for the seniors, scheduled away at 12:10. Harry Webb will start on pole position. The English lad lining up with the Australian Piers Lehane. Row 2, Swedish driver Philip Morin, been racing